Hey guys, Dr. Utesh here, Wellness Key Chiropractic. We've had a large amount of patients who come in with wrist pain, wrist problems, inability to extend and flex the wrist without pain. Maybe they slept on it funky. Maybe that's even their chief complaint. Maybe they're getting numbness, tingling in their fingers. And I want to kind of just go through some typical things that we would do here in the office and things that you could do at home to help yourself naturally without, resorting to dangerous chemicals and drugs. Cool. All right. So patient comes in, they might have wrist pain or wrist problems. And of course, after doing a complete exam, a lot of the times wrist pain and problems actually stem from the neck, because the lower neck of the nerves, they go into the arm, the elbow, and then all the way to the hands and fingers. That's why when you sleep in your arm funky, the whole thing goes to sleep, right? We know if we cut off that communication from the brain to that part of the body, there's no way it's going to respond properly. So one, check the circuit breaker, make sure that that's not the key problem. Sometimes though, we just damage the wrist, right? Maybe it's years of abuse, maybe you're getting some trigger finger and it's kind of coming from some of the problems in the wrist. It could be lots of different things, but a quick assessment is going to tell me there are multiple bones across the wrist. 8 bones, four little tiny bones in 2 rows here along the wrist. Very, very small amount of real estate in here. And so it's really important that all of these guys are able to move and flow amongst themselves, right? And so what I find most common is after adjusting, after the assessment, is we're gonna go and assess these bones in the wrist. And I'm looking for just natural motion in these. Most commonly, that center bone, usually lunate, kind of pops up posterior. And I'll feel it kind of come into my hand. So when I take the patient's hand and wrist into extension, it is like stuck up there. And then when I press on it, they're like, ow, right? And I think we've all been there. We've all had a funky thing going on with our wrist. And I'm gonna show you some things that you can do at home here as well. But so immediately I'd start assessing and then adjusting. And so that's what the adjustment looks like. It's nothing crazy. Sometimes that didn't work. Sometimes they are so inflamed, so locked up. It's been like that for a while. I'm like kind of like that last resort guy. And they're like, okay, it's just not gonna happen. So grab my trusty tool here. Again, if you can look at a previous video, we can show the efficacy of this, but this is an activator. And so I find that same spot. Oh, it's not working right there. Boom, adjust it. Oh man, awesome. Even with Loxy, who was already working mostly well, I was able to get much more motion in there. Now she's gonna have a greater range of motion, and then that's gonna reduce the inflammation, and then we're gonna have less pain in there over time, right? And it's gonna let your body heal itself naturally, which is the way that we're intended to do it. So after we get the structures actually moving properly and in proper alignment, it's gonna be important that we don't go immediately back to this position, start typing like a T-Rex, that type of thing, right? And so what I instruct our patients here is to possibly go sit on the vibe. In fact, Dr. B, come with me. Let's go do that. So go ahead and we would sit on the vibe like this, hands backwards, and then this is where we can vary the amount of weight and pressure we put into our arms and hands. And so this is going to help it stay into extension. The vibration also, in my opinion, really helps speed up that healing process, and it's going to keep it in extension and open up those flexor muscles. You may also want to do some cross friction massage along the flexor muscle, which is the inside of the arm. That's going to break up some of those adhesions that might be torquing that wrist down. So I hope this helps. People with wrist pain, again, pay attention to this video and ask me if you have any questions. Dr. Utesh, Wellness Key Chiropractic.